It is now out, and I just got done watching Echo. Echo, that show no one gave a shit about, but is secretly pretty cool? Yeah, that show. Spoilers! Nothing but spoilers in this, because that's the only way I know how to talk about TV. Filled with spoilers. So yeah, if you have not seen Echo yet, do not watch this unless you don't give a fuck. And let's go. So Echo is the brand new MCU TV show on Disney Plus and Hulu. But this is a first for the MCU and the first for Disney in general. An R rating. Yes, you heard that right. This show is rated TVMA, and this is the closest thing we're going to get to having that Netflix feel back. Because this show literally has that Netflix tone and feel to it. Maybe not as intense, but it's definitely here. And it shows that Marvel's trying again. They're trying, and what they're trying to do is cool. And the stuff in here is nice to see, but there is a lot of bad in here too. We gotta be honest here. Let me just get into the bads real quick. The pacing in this show is freaking terrible. Man, this show is so goddamn slow that I understand why they didn't want to do this week to week. Not only since there was no chatter about it online, it's also because the pacing just sucks. Imagine watching this show week to week and having the story slowly be conveyed to you. And the story is, execution-wise, it tries to tell you everything it can, but it doesn't do a good job at that. It doesn't do a good job giving you the information you need with Echo's character. Like, you won't fully understand until the literal finale. Because I never thought Echo had superpowers. I thought she was just a dangerous ninja lady in the world of the Daredevil comics. Because not everyone knows who Echo is. We're in the deep cuts for sure. We all know this. We've been knowing this for a long time. Echo is a deep cut. Not everybody knows who she is. And we need to know who she is and what she's doing and why she's doing it. And this show tries, but it tells you very slowly. And then it's like, wow, I'm not going to know anything till the end, am I? But you don't, unless you read those Daredevil comics and you know exactly who Echo is and what she does. If you don't, to a casual person, you're not going to know what the hell is going on until the actual finale. And that mainly refers to her Chocta backstory, because I did not know she was part of that. And the only thing you'll know for sure right off the bat is that her and Wilson Fisk's relationship, because she just tries to get away from Wilson Fisk. She's trying to distance herself from him, like get out of her shadow and stop killing people for him, because he's made her do a lot of messed up stuff in the past. So I just wish that the Chocta backstory information was conveyed to me a little bit more better. But other than that, it's not too terrible. Like, you can get over it. Now, let's get into the goods, and there is quite a bit here, actually. Yeah, like I said, the Netflix Daredevil series tone is trying to be shifted here into the world of the MCU, and that's great. And they just canonized the Daredevil show to the MCU, so that's even better that they're trying to get the same tone back. And I think they're trying their best to get it, and they still got a little work to do to get that feeling back for sure. And that was nice. We got the R rating for the show too, because it shows that Disney hears you guys and they're trying to do their best with the MCU as they can. And Kevin Feige is trying to hear you guys and give us the fans what we want, because damn, we got Charlie Cox Daredevil back in this show, sorta. And we got Vincent D'Onofrio back as Wilson Fisk, and man, oh man, those guys showed up to work, didn't they? Now, Charlie Cox is Daredevil, man. That is my guy right there. I love the Daredevil series from Netflix, and I love Charlie Cox's Daredevil, period. And man, seeing him back in this show, back in his Netflix suit, oh my god, that was so awesome. Even back when he was in She-Hulk, man, seeing him back again, the guy, I was like, wow, man. Because there was a time when we didn't even know that was possible. We didn't think he would come back. We would think that the MC would recast him. But I'm so glad they kept him, because they canonized everything to the MCU. So I'm like, yes, hell yeah. And then I was like, oh shit. If Charlie's back, then Vincent's definitely coming back too, because those guys are a pair. And man, Wilson Fisk, man, Vincent D'Onofrio does such a great job, man. He still has his Netflix series intensity to him, and he's brought that to the MCU, and that's so fantastic that he's back. And oh my goodness, that post-credit scene, I'll get to that in a bit, but man, just glad Wilson Fisk is back. He's here to play, and he's going to be doing some damage in the future, that's for sure. So but in this series, it's him versus Echo. He's basically the main villain of the show, just like he was in Hawkeye. And I like how this show perfectly tied itself with the Hawkeye series, intertwining the events of both of those shows in the very first episode of the show. And that was handled the best way I could. And we even see Jeremy Renner back as Hawkeye, the Ronin, because during that point of our time, we saw a little bit of this in the Hawkeye show, and now it's kind of shown a little bit more right here. And I was just glad that we saw Ronin go fully beast mode, and we saw blood, because like we saw in Avengers Endgame, we saw him wreck people, that's for sure, but we didn't see no blood because he had a sword, because back then it was PG-13 this, PG-13 that. But now that we have an R rating, you see that Ronin sword, man, that slashes and stabs and the cuts, the blood flying everywhere, man. I was like, oh my goodness. Finally, I'm glad that they're not afraid to do the R rating. Like, we need, when a character calls for the R rating, just do it. Just go with it. Especially like Blade, the MCU Blade movie, that better be R-rated. Like, come on, man. How else? No one wants that PG-13 shit unless it needs to be used. Like, come on. This series definitely is more intense than most Disney Plus shows, but it still follows that same bullshit formula for new characters. Like, we show you what they're doing, what they're dealing with, what they gotta do, and then by the end of the series, they get their costume. Rushed ass finale too. They gotta stop with the rushed ass finale, man. Like, especially back when the MCU shows were going like phase 4. Goodness, there was a bit of rush stuff in here. And this one, I don't think it's that rushed, because there's like an all-out brawl in the end and a chalk to powwow. Okay, remember when I said Echo has powers? It ties back into that Chalk's backstory, and apparently she's part of this ancient tribe that her people came from. Like, they look like fucking aliens or something. I don't know what they are. Like I said, I do not know much about Echo, but anyways, you see these brown people in the beginning. And no, that's not racist. They're literally covered in this brown rock-looking stuff, and they peel, and it gets off them. They turn into humans, like actual humans. And then it's showing when their hands go in this certain form, their fingertips, they glow, and their palms, they have this symbol, this glowing symbol on them. And apparently, it can give you super strength, the ability to heal, and the ability to walk into your opponent's mind and view their trauma. Like, I did not know Echo can do all this shit. I thought she was just a ninja. It's literally what I thought she was. But no, in the end of this finale, there was literally a situation where Wilson Fisk has her family and her best friend at gunpoint, and herself at gunpoint. And she all of a sudden puts her hands in that formation, and she literally ETs this dude. Like, puts her fingers on his face, and then ouch, ouch. And then she goes into his mind and views his past. On top of that, it gives her grandma and her best friend powers, and to literally fight off a full room full of armed dudes, and they all just beat the living shit out of all of them because they all share the same bloodline. But I'm like, her friend doesn't, because her friend's not even related to her. Maybe. Oh no, okay, now because they're cousins, I see now. Well, as long as you share the same bloodline, you can have the ET power. I don't know, and this spooks Wilson Fisk so much to the point where he just says, "What are you doing to me?" And then he gets in his car with his goons and he fucks off right back to New York City. In the end, guys, this show was okay. It was fine. There's just some weird shit in there, and I'm like, what the hell? Could have executed that a little bit more better, but overall, you didn't disappoint me. You didn't hurt me that much either. Oh, and the post-credit scene, that's right. And this one excites me. It shows Wilson Fisk talking to his pilot, I guess, and he's looking on the news and it's showing New York City race for mayor. And there's a rumor out there that in Daredevil Born Again and maybe even Spider-Man 4, Kingpin Wilson Fisk will run for mayor and become the fucking Thanos of the streets. Like, my goodness, that can actually be so awesome. And man, I hope that in Daredevil Born Again it's shown to the point where, like, oh my god, Wilson Fisk is a piece of shit. We gotta stop this guy. We gotta take this guy down, and I'm gonna need help to do that. And then in Spider-Man 4, it shows Daredevil asking Tom Holland's Spider-Man to help him. Man, I just get excited just thinking about that. Because that's what we want, and that's what most certainly what I want, man. Because Kingpin is also a Spider-Man villain. I know this because I saw and grew up with the 90s Spider-Man cartoon when I was growing up, man. Oh my god. And now we get Charlie Cox Daredevil and Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the same movie. That'll be, oh my goodness, that'll be like Christmas, man. So Marvel, Sony, please make that happen, baby. I gotta see that on the big screen. Please confirm that shit. Echo, you get a C.